Welcome everyone to this special episode of Life Uncensored, navigating adulthood one episode at a time. You are hearing through your airwaves your girl Amanda Lockhart Davis, host of Life Uncensored, and this special episode is to celebrate Valentine's Day 2025. Welcome back. Thank you all for listening, tuning in, joining. Thank you all for the following, the subscribing, the liking, the sharing. We appreciate you a whole lot. Again, in honor of Valentine's Day, I wanted to do a special episode, and we're going to be diving into the book that breaks down the hilarious and insightful differences between men and women. And it's called Men Are Like Waffles, Women Are Like Spaghetti by Bill and Pam Farrel. Now, if you ever wondered why men tend to focus on one thing at a time while women seem to juggle a million thoughts at once, this book explains why. And let's be real, understanding these differences can be a game changer in a relationship. So grab your coffee, your wine, whatever makes you comfortable, and let's get into it. Hi, everybody. I have had this book for longer than I can remember. I'm going to go out on a limb and say at least probably going on 25 years, a very long time. And it's a really fun read. Uh, the design cover has had some changes over the years, so if you look it up on Amazon or local bookstores, you might see a different cover. But it's Men Are Like Waffles, Women Are Like Spaghetti by Bill and Pam Farrel. It's a really good read. It's a fun read. Um, there's times where you're going to laugh when you're reading. There's times when you're going to raise your eyebrow. There's times when you're going to go, that sounds like me. That sounds like my spouse. That sounds familiar. And I enjoyed reacquainting myself with it in preparation for this special episode. So let's get into it and what the metaphor men are like waffles, women are like spaghetti actually means. And I took so many notes, just like I said, reacquainting myself with this book and having fun all over again and rediscovering things and remembering things. So let's talk about it. What does this title mean? So, according to the authors, men's brains function like waffles. So each thought, each task that they have, it's like its own separate compartment, right? Or a little box. So each thing stays in its own box by itself, separated from the others. Um, so work is in one box, sports is in another box, having to fix the car is in another box, mom's birthday is in another box, and so on and so on and so on. Um, and same thing with their emotions, right? So not just their thoughts or tasks, but also emotions. So when you think about it, it's kind of funny that, yeah, even the emotions get their own little tiny box in a man's brain. Again, based on what the authors researched and what they've um, come to find in writing this book. Um, Women, on the other hand, are like spaghetti in that everything is connected. So their thoughts, their emotions, their memories, tasks, they all are woven together like a plate of spaghetti noodles, right? So it's common that when talking to a woman, she could be talking about one thing, and next thing you know, by the end of the conversation, you're wondering how you got from point A to point B. It's because all those noodles, quote unquote, touch each other, right? So that's why, she can start off talking about dinner plans, for example, and then somehow end up discussing something that happened 3 years ago at the family reunion. Right? Like, I just asked you what you wanted for dinner. Why are we talking about the family reunion for 3 years? Because in her mind, it all weaves together in some form or fashion. Um, and when you think about it, this is also why some men can seem distant when they're really just focused on something, on that one thing, while women may feel like they're thinking about everything all at once, right? And I'm sure that sounds familiar to a lot of you. So when you think about it, again, the metaphor, men are like waffles in that they compartmentalize and everything has its own box. One thing doesn't touch the other, so on and so forth. Whereas women are like spaghetti, where everything touches the other thing. Everything touches each other. And listen, let's be clear. There are exceptions to the rule, right? There's that 80-20 rule, right? There are exceptions, and that those exceptions could be based on upbringing, childhood experiences, environment, culture, even so on and so on and so on. So you might um, have that 80-20 exception to the rule where the man is thinking in the lines of spaghetti, where everything's woven together, and the woman is compartmentalizing. That happens. I know for me personally, it's a little bit of both. I can be talking to my girlfriends, my sisters, what have you, and out comes spaghetti, right? And it's funny because when I tell you, me and my girls can talk, and it'll start out with, "Hey girl, quick question for you," or "Hey, I wanted to call you about such and such thing," and 2 hours later, 2 hours later, we're like, "So what'd you call for again?" And it's like, "Oh yeah," and we trace our steps back. Boom. This is what I called about. All right, did we hit that task? Yes, we are. All right, good. We got that out the way. But meanwhile, we didn't talk about all these other things because one thing talks to another, touches another and another. Um, while meanwhile, if I talk to my brother, my nephews, my male friends, it's different for me. So I can be talking about one thing, stay on that one thing, let them finish that, me finish that, and I'll come back and be like, "You know what? You just said something that reminded me of," and I can then jump into the other compartment with them and talk about that one thing. But with my girls, because they understand the language, we can literally just go on this ride together in this plate of spaghetti noodles. And so um I just think it's hilarious, right? So think about that. Like when you're talking to men, when you're talking to your boys, your brother, your dad, whoever, versus when you're talking to your wife, your sister, your mom, how is that different? Right? Think about that. And same thing, women, how is it different for you communicating with other females versus communicating with males? Right? The communication is just so fascinating when you sit back and really think about it and what it means and how it works. It really is fascinating. And it's one of those things that kind of helps you understand each other a little bit better. So, this is where things get interesting, right? Men tend to um, approach conversation with a goal in mind. And I think we all do to an extent, right? Men and women. But according to the authors in their research, men tend to approach conversation with a goal in mind, i.e., solving a problem, fixing it, getting to the point, making the decision. Where women often see the conversation as a way to connect, um, sometimes to find a solution, but not necessarily to find a solution, if that makes sense. So think about it in this way. A woman starts venting about her stressful day. Hey, hey, hun, how was your day? And a woman is like, oh man, this happened and then that. Oh, and then this happened, which caused that. And then this. And it was just one thing after another, blah, 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 blah. If a woman is venting to a man and she's going through all the things that happened throughout her day. It was a stressful day for all these reasons, or just this one reason. A man might immediately jump to solutions, right? Like, okay, well, how do I fix it? All right, so why don't you just do X, Y, Z then? And she looking like, I ain't asked you all that. I ain't asked you your opinion. I ain't asked you to fix it. I don't need you to fix it. I just need to get it out my system. I need to talk to somebody about it. And that's where she's coming from. So it's so funny to me because it's like waffles and spaghetti at play, right? Men are compartmentalizing while women are trying to connect. And it's not that one is right, one is wrong. They're just different. And it just is what it is. So I want you to just kind of take stock of that. I want my listeners to take stock of that. Think about it. Husbands, boyfriends, brothers, dads, when a woman comes in, female, young lady, however you want to put it, comes in and you're like, oh, how was your day? And she's like, oh my gosh, this happened, that happened, that happened, this happened, all these things, blah, 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 blah. She's not necessarily looking for you to fix it. And my experience, if she is, she's going to tell you. She's going to say, I need your opinion. I need your advice. I need some help. I don't know what to do. What do you think? Things of that nature. So without those cues, just be patient, sit back, and let it get it off her chest. Because if you don't, if you jump in, you have now added to that, you've added a noodle to that plate of spaghetti. Okay? Think about it. You've added a noodle to that plate of spaghetti. So you want to just be patient, give her the space to just get it all out. Because think about it. You ever wonder why something happens, and I'm speaking to husbands directly. You ever think about why something happens? Your wife tells you about it or whatever the case, or you and her talk about it. Then you hear her tell her girlfriend about it. Then you hear her tell her sister about it. Then you hear her tell her other sister, then her other girlfriend, then her. It's because we got to get it out. And the only way we can do that is to literally just talk about it. And it's not necessarily for solutions. Sometimes it might be. It's not that it's never the case, but it's not that it's about the solution. Sometimes it's just about, I just need to get it out. And it's also about the connection again, right? Because if I trust you, if I love you, I can tell you these things that are going on with me. And I know that it'll be reciprocated. The sharing will be reciprocated. So think about that, right? From that sense. The emotional processing and the conflict resolution part of this is so very fascinating to me. And as I was going back through this book, like I said, reintroducing myself to it, all I could think was, oh, yeah, wow, I forgot about this. Yep, that is so true. Yep, that's right. I'm even seeing it with my sons, right? I'm, as my audience knows, I'm a boy mom. I have 3 sons. 2 are adults and 1 still a minor. And even though far apart in age, when I was reading through this book again, I was like, oh my gosh, that's all 3 of my boys, plus my husband. Like, it was just like, wow, right? So this is not a thing that is defined by age. It really isn't. This is definitely a gender thing, right? So just keep that in mind. So, let's talk about these different the differences and how they affect emotions and conflict resolution, right? So when men are upset, they often retreat into what the authors are calling their nothing box, right? I'm putting up air quotes here. Basically, they need time alone to process before they can talk about it. Whereas women, on the other hand, need to talk through their emotions as they process them. Going back to what I said a moment ago about wonder why you hear her telling the same story about the same stressful day over and over again. That's what that is. We have to talk it out to process these emotions. Whereas men just need to just kind of retreat into themselves to deal with it before there's outward movement or action or what have you. And when I think about it, I think about my husband. My husband does this thing that I call busy work. Drives me the hell nuts. Drives me nuts. It really does. And going back through this book and reacquainting myself, I go, oh, that's right. That's what he's doing. I forgot about that. I forgot about this simple rule here, right? This theory that my husband's a waffle. So when I say busy work, it's why are you randomly washing rugs? Why are you randomly uh fixing XYZ? Why are you randomly what is going on? You're all of a sudden you're cleaning out your closet. Why don't you just relax? Like it's been a busy week. We've been running around all week. The weather's nasty. We finally have a chance to relax, and then tomorrow we're back at it again. Why don't you just chill? Why don't you just relax? But you're doing busy work. And to me, it's always been not always, but I look at it as here he is avoiding the situation again. If I don't say nothing, he don't say nothing. If I don't bring it up, he don't bring it up. And though that is true to an extent, the fact of the matter is Waffle being a waffle, retreating into his box, dealing with it, processing it, his nothing box, processing it the way he has to process it before he can talk about it. And I have to remember to be patient to give him time to do that so that when we do have a conversation about whatever's going on, it's a lucrative, beneficial conversation for both of us. So, that's just something that I know that I deal with, with my husband. So, ladies, I'm saying to you, give your men a chance, give your husbands a chance to go into their nothing box, do what they got to do. To be able to have a conversation that's going to be beneficial to both of you at the end of the day. Um, you know, this is why, after an argument, a man might go silent while a woman wants to keep talking. She's got to process her way, which is talking it out, talking, talking, talking. He's got to process it his way, which is retreating into his nothing box, right? So she's trying to untangle the spaghetti, so to speak, while he's trying to put the emotions, in a box until he can figure it out, right? It's like, okay, this goes right here. Here's the place for it until I figure it out. And I think that's a fascinating concept when you think about it. So understanding this can seriously help couples avoid frustration, um, and unnecessary anger, unnecessary added arguments. You know what I mean? Instead of assuming that he doesn't care because he's quiet or he's tinkering with the car or he's outside in the backyard shooting hoops or whatever, recognize that he might just be processing, and that's his nothing box. That tinkering, that playing the game, shooting hoops outside, that's his way of processing, and that's his quote unquote nothing box. And then instead of feeling like she's talking too much or nagging you, realize that she's trying to make sense of it, and make sense of her feelings, so to speak, just out loud. Like, so he's doing it in quiet. She needs to do it out loud. And doing it with someone that she loves and trusts, like I was saying earlier, makes it that much easier and the process so much faster. So when women let men process in the way they need to, and men let women process in the way that they need to, getting through and getting to a solution happens so much easier and so much faster. So, think about that. So next time you hear your wife on the phone, like, man, who else she gonna tell this to? Dang. Think about that. Remember that. That's her way of processing. And very frankly, if you're so inclined, after you hear her retelling the story for the 100th time, say to her, hey, I noticed that you're still talking about such and such. Is it still bothering you? Is there a piece of it that you haven't unraveled yet? You want to talk about it? And let her talk to you. That'll win you some bonus points. That'll get you the gold star. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And women, on the flip, if you realize that he's gone into his nothing box, once you discover what his nothing box is, um, let him know that you support his nothing box. It's okay. It's okay. Let him know you support his nothing box. And it might be something as simple as, hey, do you need some time? You gonna go hang with the boys? You gonna play the game? You good? I see you've been on the game a little bit longer than normal. You good? You need anything from me? And whatever their answer is, let it roll. Like, okay, it generally will probably be, no, not really. I'm good. I'm just, whatever. I'm chilling or whatever. Okay. All right. Obviously there's a delicate balance, right? You don't want to put on your partner too much than what they can handle. So women, you don't want to talk so much that it's just so overwhelming to men. And men, you don't want to be so reclusive. You don't want to be so um into your own world and in your own box that you give off the appearance that you're pushing her away. So, there's that balance, but that's where communication comes in, right? So, again, I just had a joy going through this book again. Shout out to Bill and Pam Farrel. Um, let's talk about some takeaways. Let's talk about some takeaways of this. So now that we understand these differences, um, how do we use the knowledge to strengthen the relationships? Think about some of these takeaways that are from the book, which I, again, highly recommend. Highly recommend get you a copy on Amazon. They're on Amazon. You can find it. Men, when she's venting, just listen. That's it. You don't always have to fix it. Again, if she wants you to fix it, if she needs you to fix it, she will tell you that. She's going to ask for your opinion, your help, your advice. She's going to ask you what you think. She's going to ask, those questions, or she's going to tell you, I need your help on this one because I don't know what to do, So you don't always have to fix it, So let's take the load off of yourselves by thinking, okay, I got to go grab my tool belt and get ready to fix whatever she's saying. Sometimes she just needs you to say, I hear you. That sounds frustration. Dang, I can't believe that. That's crazy. What? Easiest gold star you'll ever make. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And women, when he is silent, don't panic. Don't automatically jump to conclusions. Don't hit the, oh, you being different. Oh, why are you acting like that? Why you ignore me? Give him time to process. Give him the space that he needs to process. And if he says he needs a moment, believe him. I mean, it's as simple as that. So men listen, women listen in terms of just let him be silent. Let him be silent and believe what he says when he says he just needs time or he needs a moment. It also helps, for both of you to express these things, right? Or having a cue for each other. I think it would be very helpful for, men to say, I just need a minute. I need some time. I'm thinking right now, or I'm just processing some stuff. I need some time. I'm gonna come back to you, whatever. And then women to say, I really just need to say this out loud. Can you give me a couple minutes? I just need to just say all of this out loud. I don't even need you to respond, or I do need you to respond. Whatever that thing is, communicating with each other, expressing this with each other, and understanding like the goal. And it's going to take practice. That's a muscle that has to be built, right? If you're not already doing it. Knowing that when these conversations start, you know what to expect from the other. Now you're on a playing field that's fair for everybody, right? And I think about it like when I talk to my brother. Me and my brother have this signal where he'll either text me or call me. He'll be like, I need 5. Or I'll do the same. I need 5. And that signal for, I need you right now. Drop everything. Code red. And he'll say to me, I'm about to tell you what's going on, blah, blah. I don't need opinions right now. I just need, whatever it is. And he'll say it to me. Or on the flip, he'll be like, was I wrong? this is what happened. I need your opinion. And I do the same thing. Like, I'll just start talking and I'll be like, so what you think? What's your take on that? You know, and that's just something that we have. So we already know going into the conversation what's about to happen. Or sometimes we'll be in the middle of a conversation and one of us, likely him, will go, all right, before you start saying anything, so on and so forth. So think about that, setting those rules and guidelines for each other. And I say rules loosely, for each other, going in so that you're already on that fair playing ground when these conversations take place, right? In relationships, meeting each other halfway makes a difference, right? Men try to open up more, where you can, understanding that that's how she feels connected to you when you open up more. Women recognize that sometimes he genuinely isn't thinking about anything. He's just quiet. Like, that's it. That's it. It's not personal. He ain't mad. He ain't got attitude. He ain't thinking about, another chick. He ain't thinking about how to get away from you. It's not personal. It is just, he's just being quiet. And that's okay. So meeting each other halfway, I'm telling you, it's going to go places for you, right? And when I'm telling you, I have lived through a lot of what's in this book and implemented a lot of what's in this book. And like I said, reacquainting myself to it. I'm like remembering stuff like, ooh, that kind of fell off. I need to get back into that practice. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. That's how I'm going to say that. So there you have it. That's my brief synopsis on Men Are Like Waffles, Women Are Like Spaghetti. It's such a fun, insightful book, a great read. It's perfect for Valentine's Day, great for a Valentine's Day discussion or after, and it's whether you're in a relationship, single, just trying to better understand the opposite sex. This book has some really, really good and cool gems that can help us all communicate better and appreciate our differences. Like I said, this is not just that's my wife, that's my husband, boyfriend, girlfriend. It could be with your kids. It could be with your parent. It could be with friend, sibling, like it just coworker, right? Just think about that, right? So I really, really hope that you enjoyed this special episode. As you can see, it's a short episode, and I did that on purpose because I want you to get back to your Valentine's Day, whatever that looks like for you. And I want you to really think about picking up a copy of this book or even doing, I believe there's a version on Amazon where you can download it as well, as opposed to getting a physical copy. So I really want you to think about that. Think about ways that you can better communicate with those of the opposite sex around you and make communication better. In the meantime, before we completely close out, I have some words not to forget about my business folks out there that tune in. I have a word from B2B with extra hands from my friend Rashid to go along with the Valentine's Day theme. So take a listen and I'll be right back in just a moment.
Amanda, how you doing? It's Rashid Hamid, CEO of Extra Hands Virtual Assistants, here again with a quick spot from B2B with Extra Hands. Thank you again for letting us hang out with you here at Life Uncensored, navigating adulthood one episode at a time. As you know, everything this week is all about love, right? Everybody's talking about it. And you and I had a conversation about how can we, in our roles, me specifically, how can I help these entrepreneurs, these small business owners fall back in love with their companies? Well, the first thing I'd like to say is that I don't want to truly believe that there are entrepreneurs or small business owners out there who are falling out of love, right, with their businesses, because these are our babies. These are our projects. These are things that we've turned from hobbies and passions into revenue. And I really don't believe that people are falling out of love with them, but I do think that it is a very frustrating role to wear the hat of a CEO. It's a very frustrating role to be an entrepreneur. And it's also something that can be extremely lonely at times. And I'm speaking from my own experience. It's a quiet place, you know, when the laptop closes, and it can get frustrating and it can get hard. But at Extra Hands Virtual Assistants, there are some things that we can do and that I take pride in doing that can help you fall in love with your business again. One of those things, first and foremost, that I'm extremely proud of is our ability to give you back time to do the thing that you love. At Extra Hands, we have a proven strategy that gives entrepreneurs and business owners a minimum of 15 hours back per week. It doesn't sound like a lot, but can you imagine what you could do with 15 hours per week? The family time, the projects, the exercise, all of those New Year's resolutions. 15 hours a week adds up at the end of the month. And having the ability to reinvest that time into doing the thing that made you fall in love with your business in the first place is huge. So I highly, highly place that at number one for a very specific reason. Number two, we live in a very automated, AI-friendly, tech-friendly world. Whether your business is 1 year old or whether your business is 10 years old, keeping up with technology today is crucial for business owners. It's a vital component. It is a business partner. It is your strategist. It is often our accountants. It's our marketing directors. It's our social media managers. Not having your finger on the pulse of technology is a surefire way to become frustrated and to quickly fall out of love with your business, because you are busy trying to run and operate the business, but at the same time keep up with a lot of these manual, repetitive, mundane tasks that can be automated. And one of the things that I love about Extra Hands and our virtual assistant team is our ability to automate some of these tasks, the ability to leverage some of this technology and some of this AI software and eliminate these tasks is another way of, back to number one, giving you back more time. But it also creates these streamless processes, these things that you don't have to think about as much, and it frees up a lot of clutter and mental space and mental capacity for you to get back to falling in love with your business again. The last thing I'll share with you today is consistency. If you are only showing your business attention when things fall apart and become chaotic, then you are in a toxic relationship with your business, and that is not healthy. It is not effective. Stay the course, put your systems in place, trust the systems, but tweak them when they need. As you grow, as you scale, things need to be readjusted. But staying consistent in business and waiting for results, we so often want to jump the gun and move on to the next thing and put the cart before the horse, as they say. That is not going to give you the long-term results that you want in business. Giving people their time back, leveraging technology and AI, and staying consistent. These are ways that I would recommend, and we can assist with helping you fall in love with your business again. Hey, Amanda, I hope this helps. I hope this helps you. I hope this helps all of your viewers. And from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you again for allowing us this platform. From Extra Hands Virtual Assistants, my name is Rashid. I'm signing off. Have a good week, guys. Cheers.
Thanks, Rashid. Thank you so much for that. See, I didn't forget about my business owners and entrepreneurs out there. Valentine's Day is for you too, and for your businesses, the love of your businesses. So as we wrap up, make sure that you like, share, follow, subscribe. Life Uncensored, Navigating Adulthood, one episode at a time. Look for that phoenix that's up in the corner of your screen on my shirt here, right? Life Uncensored. We're on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. We also have a website, life-uncensored.com. That's life-uncensored.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure that you're sharing, following, liking, all the good stuff. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell everybody. If you have an idea for an episode or you want to be a guest on the show, Go to our website, life-uncensored.com, and drop us a line, and we would love to have you and love to hear your ideas. If you have a business, if you have a service or a product that you would like to advertise or promote on our show, same thing. Go to our website, drop us a line, and we'll set up a conversation with you so we can get that going. We love to support our fellow entrepreneurs and small business owners. All right. Uh, in the meantime, I want to shout out my husband because our anniversary is on Valentine's Day. We were married on February the 14th. So happy anniversary to my husband, Clarence Lockhart. All right, guys, I am going to um, give you my quote of the day, as I always do. And I've got two quotes for you that I think are quite appropriate for this show. The first one comes from Franklin P. Jones, and the quote goes, "Love doesn't make the world go round. Love is what makes the ride worthwhile." And the second quote comes from H. Jackson Brown Jr., and the quote goes, "Love is when the other person's happiness is more important, I'm adding, to you than your own." Love is love is when the other person's happiness is more important to you than your own. That's love. Happy Valentine's Day to my Life Uncensored audience. Thank you so much for riding with me. Thank you so much to all of my Facebook followers. Special shout out to you. 11,000 plus and going strong on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on Spotify. Check us out on LinkedIn as well. All right. Happy Valentine's Day. Go love to communicate. See you guys.